Hello and welcome back to Cage Side Press. I'm Patrick McCart, and I am joined by a very special guest. It's UFC bantamweight Aiemann Zahabi. How you doing, my man?
Feeling great, man. How are you?
Doing well, man. Let's talk about that most recent win. Javid Basharat,
Yeah,
a guy undefeated, coming off of a kind of weird no contest after a groin kick, but he had a lot of hype coming
yeah.
in, undefeated. All this, what was kind of like? Was there any pressure on you? Did you feel like, okay, there's an undefeated guy, a prospect on the come up?
Not really, in the sense that, every time you win, they put you against your next best opponent, right? So it's always the same story. Oh, this guy's the best guy you're ever gonna fight. Every single time. So it's like the same old song and dance, which makes me feel better that I feel that way because I'm really starting to feel more like a veteran now. When I signed to the UFC, I only had 6 fights. And now I've had more fights in the UFC than I've had before UFC. So I feel a lot more confident. And I try not to care about the odds too much. In the end, I did everything I could in training camp, and there's no pressure, man. And the odds don't matter. It's all bullshit. It's all hype.
And it was a relatively close fight. It was a very fun fight. It was a somewhat close fight. How sure were you when it went to the scorecards that you had done enough?
I was very sure. I feel like I took it away rounds 2 and 3. I know round one, I probably didn't win because of that. When he push kicked me one of the times, I was stepping and I ended up falling. So I feel like the optics weren't great in round one, and there was a lot of low volume. He may have edged me out with volume, but I think in round two, when I shut down those 4 takedowns, I landed more strikes, and I dropped them at the end of the round. Was pretty certain I got round two, and then round three, like I feel like he ended up fading, and I was the one pushing the pace, and I outstruck him by a lot more in round three, and he was turning and running for me at times in round two and round three. So I feel like when you turn and run, it doesn't give a good look. Like I never turn and ran. Like when I circle, I'm always facing him and ready to engage. Whereas he really took a few moments where he fully disengaged, which is weird.
And that big win makes it 4 wins in a row. And not just 4 wins in a row, but I think four important wins, right? The first one, obviously, to put an end to a two-fight losing streak, but then
Yeah.
over some really good prospects in Ricky Tercios, in Ariki Lang, and then Yavid Basharat. 4 wins
Yeah.
in a row. What's next for you? Do you have an opponent in mind, maybe in the rankings, or what are you looking at right now?
Now, right now, I don't have an opponent in mind. I'm just trying to do the analysis because I'm gonna try to look ahead, forward, and try to pick someone. But it's Ramadan, so we told the UFC that I'm gonna be fasting for the month, so they know not to call right now. But I'm gonna be doing my research this month and try to give them a list of names and see if we have the same ideas.
Give them a little bit of a hit list, so to speak.
Yeah, I need one of those.
Perfect. Yeah. Have you ever done a training camp over Ramadan, and how would that work? Or is it like during Ramadan, you don't touch training camp for a fight, or you don't have a fight in place?
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Yeah, we don't have one in place, and it's just too hard with the fasting. If I would have a fight, I wouldn't fast, and I would make it up another time, right? Because I can do that for work because it's like my only source of income now. But like, what I can't do both. I can't fight and fast. It's impossible. Like I tried to train on Monday in the daytime, like not like normal, but a little bit lighter, and I had the headache for such a large headache for the rest of the day. I had to take a nap. I couldn't train at night because I was too dehydrated for too long. And now I'm just gonna train in the evenings. I actually saw a video of Khabib talking about he trains like an hour and a half before it's time to break the fast. That's when he starts his training, and then he'll train again after he has his first meal later on at night. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I think only one fighter, at least in recent memory, like fought during Ramadan. That was Bilal Muhammad last year when he took on Gilbert Burns, and he even said like he felt the difference. Even though it was short notice, like it was obviously a much tougher fight.
100%. I don't think he was his best if he did the fasting.
Yeah. And so on to the bantamweight division is in a very exciting point. At the top, there's all the commotion. Obviously, Sean
Yeah.
O'Malley defeating Cheeto this weekend. I know you had your eyes on that. Marab
Yeah.
Davalishvili, who is maybe my favorite social media account on online. I don't know if you
Yeah.
follow, but honestly, his posts are amazing. His reels are
Yeah.
amazing. I think he's the funniest guy. I mean, the way he scales mountains, he's like a mountain goat.
Yeah,
Um,
he's hilarious.
is ridiculous. And obviously Sean O'Malley is on a really, really great run right now. What did you think of that main event at UFC 299, Cheeto Vera versus Sean O'Malley?
You know what I thought was from the first time they fought to 4 years later, Sean O'Malley really invested in skills and he really leveled up. And whereas Cheeto, I feel like he didn't had any skills in 4 years. That's what it looked like. And like, okay, yeah, he has great condition. Yes, he's super durable. Yes, he's tough. Yes, his mental game is on point. But he just looked out of his depth in the striking realm, and he didn't have the takedowns to take him down. He didn't have any grappling. He just couldn't really get going. And then a lot of times you just have to bite down on his mouthpiece and just take the trades, for trading. And it wasn't his best performance. It wasn't Cheeto's best performance, and it was one of Sean's better performances for sure. But I feel like you're looking at two guys who 4 years ago, one invested in skills and one just kept doing the same thing.
I think a lot of people are in agreement with that. Did you hear the sound of the knee that Cheeto took to the face? Like that was like he got smacked by a baseball bat. Did you see that? I know you
Yeah,
didn't
listen,
watch
I
long.
I did. It was shocking, but like I don't think like okay, it's great that he's super durable. Like I wish I never got knocked out by that spinning elbow. But you can't depend on that. Like it can't be your thing. You should have better blocking, you should have better footwork. I feel like a big problem was he didn't have the foot speed or the coordination with his feet and his hands to be able to outstrike O'Malley. And O'Malley had great coordination, man. He had great footwork. He was dancing around there like crazy, dancing in circles around Cheeto. And I just feel like yes, it's an ace to have in your back pocket, that durability and that big head and that chin, 100%. But he needs to build skills on top of that gift. That gift he was given.
100%. I don't know about your family, but like my family, they don't like cage fighting. They don't like MMA
Yeah.
or anything to do with it. So like I can't show them really any clips. My dad will watch boxing and stuff, but that's kind of where the limit's at. And I watch Instagram with my mom sometimes. I was scrolling through Instagram Reels with her, and
Yeah.
it came to the clip of the Sean O'Malley knee, and she was like freaked out by the sound of the knee. She was like so concerned for
Yeah.
Cheeto.
Yeah,
She
for
also
sure.
caught she also caught your fight on that last weekend because she was still awake while I was watching. And then the next
Nice.
fight, I don't know if you caught it, was Bernardo Sopai versus Vinicius
That was a
Oliveira.
crazy fight.
It's a
Crazy fight.
ridiculous knee. And me and my mom were talking during the fight. And it was a great fight. And as we both look over, Sopai's running away, right? And then he gets hit by the knee.
Yeah.
My poor mother was just so concerned for Bernardo Sopai.
Yeah,
And
for
then
sure.
he got carried out of the cage. So what was that like? Were you still there at the time when he got carried out?
No, no, I wasn't there. They had, like before COVID, they used to have a green room and all the fighters and coaches would be able to eat and hang out and watch the fights. But since COVID, they had this new protocol where they escort you out of the building. Like as soon as your fight's over, you do your doctor's check, you do your interviews, pictures, and then you're out the door. They send you back to the hotel.
That's what they did with Johnny Walker. There's that viral picture of him standing out in Vegas in his
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
white shorts and gloves.
It's crazy, man. Like they need to bring back that green room. I used to love eating there.
I'm sure it's some good food as well. UFC cooks, UFC PI cooks seem to be the best in the
Yeah,
biz, right?
yeah, 100%. Everything, like they're the best, but I don't know why they don't bring it back now that COVID's over. They should just do it. But I guess maybe they're saving a few grand.
Yeah. Yes. When you do fight in Vegas, when do you go
Yeah.
out to Vegas and how big of a tool is the UFC PI?
For me, it's nothing, the PI, except for the meals. Like they make my meals,
Yeah.
but I haven't gone to you go train there yet. And I was talking my interview after the fight. I want to be in contact with them, and I want to work with them, and I want to go over there and get my VO2 max tested, get all my tests done, and make sure that I'm at my peak physical shape. Like now, the last four straight, they're all younger than me, man. They're all younger than me, and luckily, thank God, I won those fights. I did a good job, and I felt like they got more fatigued than me, a lot of the time, and I still think there's room for me to get better physically, and I want to team up with the PI and do that.
I love it, man. So would you like to fight again this year? Because you've
Yeah,
had some
yeah,
time of
yes. Six,
inactivity.
six,
So
7 months from now, I want to be in there. Like
6, 7 months
September,
from now.
October
Okay,
will be
so
perfect.
so your
Yeah.
goal is kind of two fights in a year, right? Is that or 2 to 3 fights? I guess
Yeah.
Ramadan
If I
obviously
can knock
makes
out
it
the
quite
other guy
difficult.
too, man, maybe we squeeze in. If I knock out the next guy, maybe we squeeze one more. I don't know. I don't know. It all depends on my body. It all depends
Yeah.
on my body. And the reason why I'm saying 6 months now is because of Ramadan. I don't know what the effect's gonna be after. I don't know how it's gonna be like coming back. Just want to make sure I'm tip top for the next. The next one's gonna be a huge challenge. So I want to be in my best
Right. Of
physical shape ever. I want
course.
to look like a monster in there.
Would you like the Abu Dhabi card? Is that one you're looking at, or what kind of do you have like a date kind of in
Not
mind? You mentioned
no, no, I
October.
don't have a date in mind. It's more important who. Who is the most important?
Right.
Who's the most important thing? Yeah.
Anytime, anywhere, any place.
Well, for sure, like the place matters too, but like not as much as the opponent. I feel like the opponent is the thing that counts the most. I'm not looking forward to fighting in high altitude. It's gonna cost so much because they don't pay anything extra. Like let's say you gotta go fight somewhere high altitude, you gotta go a month before or a few weeks before.
Yeah.
You gotta pay your own rooms, you gotta pay the food for your team, the travel, all the extra expenses. It's not always the best. So hopefully something reasonable.
But then maybe also if you're going to pay that amount, then don't you want somewhere like a holiday destination, right?
Yeah, yes and no, because I don't bring my family, right? So like I don't have to fly them in separate, whatever. I'd rather just go fight, come back. That's why like I love fighting in Vegas, man. Vegas should be the hub. Like most of the shows should be in Vegas. Easy to get to, easy for the fighters, convenient. The UFC controls everything. Like I'm not saying necessarily the Apex, but like I mean, like they even use that other venue also. So like
T-Mobile, or do you mean the
yeah,
the one
T-Mobile.
that they did? There's
Yeah,
an arena
I
that
think it's T-Mobile.
yeah, there's an arena I
Yeah.
think is really cool that they used once for that Jan versus Davvalishvili fight. It's kind of like a smaller venue. I thought that venue was really cool. I thought maybe they transition to that and do the Apex shows in that. I can't remember what that venue is called. It was kind of like the Palms. Like remember the Palms back
Oh,
in the
the
old days?
Palms. Yeah, the Palms is a small venue too. Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Palms
It
either,
was
man.
similar
As
to
long as
that.
there's a crowd. It'd be nice to have a crowd
Yeah.
too. But I like the Apex in terms of its convenience. Like when my card got changed from Saudi to Vegas, like we got canceled that it wasn't gonna be in Saudi. I didn't have to worry. I knew they would just put in the Apex because they own the place. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
convenient in that sense.
And one thing I wanted to talk to you about, you started working on a YouTube channel. You did a watch along, obviously, for
Yes.
UFC 299. And you mentioned to me before about an intro. If you guys haven't seen to the viewers, like if you guys haven't seen the post that Iman just put up of the Street Fighter edit, man,
Yeah.
it's so sick. So honestly, he
Thank
said
you,
he's
man.
gonna put that in the intro. So what kind of content are you looking to push on there? Are you looking to do watch alongs or just a whole variety of different content?
Yeah, so I started with a watch along on Saturday for the UFC 299 Miami, and then I ended up like chopping up some videos to make some shorts. But really, what I want to do all the time is going to be the watch alongs for sure. I also want to start doing technique videos, like either boxing, wrestling, striking. I'm going to be pumping out different types of techniques and skill work. I want to also like talk about fitness tips, like for conditioning. Also, nutrition wise, like what fighters eat during training camp, what we eat off camp. Little funny videos about cheat meals and stuff like that. Maybe throw in a few days in the life here and there, but just like a variety of stuff that has everything to do with MMA. And I also want to talk about like I want to make some videos touching upon what it's like to come up as a fighter who's not in the UFC and try to build a support system that helps you get there eventually.
Yeah, I think YouTube and social media is a thing that a lot of fighters are now kind of getting into. I think Sean O'Malley was one of the ones that, when he first arrived, he was like, I'm gonna go viral. I'm gonna and he utilized that so well. With the
Yeah,
Obviously Snoop Dogg definitely helps in that whole
yeah,
contender series thing. But I mean,
yeah. Of course.
so how much of a tool do you think social media is for young fighters as well? Not even like yourself as a UFC fighter, but also like
Yeah.
a young professional or a young amateur kind of, trying to make their way up and trying to get their fight seen. So maybe a bigger promotion like the PFL or the UFC will sign them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I don't recommend it too early on in your career in the terms of like 'cause there's so much skill work to build. You have so much skills that you have to add, and to be a good wrestler, grappler, striker, it's not easy. It takes a lot of time. So only do it a little bit early on, and then when you make a big name for yourself and you're in the UFC, then you should really start pushing it. But like getting before the UFC, it's hard because you have so much work to do. There's just too much to focus on in terms of being in the gym and putting in the work to get good. Because at the end of the day, if you build up enough skills, people are gonna follow you, man. People are gonna watch you. Like Khabib didn't spend a lot of time early in his career, making YouTube videos and stuff. But then when he won certain fights, all of a sudden his social media blew up. A lot of these guys they just focus on getting the wins, and then eventually then they get into making the videos and the YouTube. That would be my suggestion for now.
And before I let you go, I do this thing on all the channels I work for. It's
Yep.
like a quick fire, like a little personal, a little bit more
Yep.
to do with fighting. So first of all, what's your favorite movie, man?
My favorite movie right now it's Dune Part One. I can't wait to watch Dune Part Two. I'm having a hard time
I
making the
got
time to
two
get
part
there.
two on my
Spending a lot
list.
of time with
I got to
friends and yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying Dune Part Two is a movie I'm also very excited for. I love the cinema, so
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good. I've heard it's really good, so I have to. I have to make time for it. And your favorite TV show? Are you a big TV show guy?
I'm a huge TV show guy. Favorite TV show of all time is probably Game of Thrones.
Right. And do you have a favorite TV show right now that maybe you're watching or just finished?
Uh, Nothing right now. Actually, I watched Love Is Blind with my wife recently. I'm waiting for my wife can't wait to watch the reunion tonight.
Yeah. There's a big give and take, right? You get to watch Game of Thrones and then you have to watch Love is Blind,
Yeah,
right? That's
exactly, exactly. You know, when I first met my wife, she told me she hates sci-fi. She hates fantasy. And all of a sudden, she watches all she does is watch that. But whatever.
that's funny. That's funny, man. I don't know if you're a big video game guy. What's your favorite video game of all time?
I love all the fighting games. Like one of my favorite
Right.
video games of all time is Marvel vs. Capcom. I used to love playing that game with my brothers growing up. It was amazing. Street Fighter, all those kind of games. And Madden. I love playing
Mm.
Madden.
Oh, I might have to play on Madden then.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. Also FIFA. If I just gave
Well,
you too many
that's another
games
one,
there.
dude. Well,
Yeah,
okay, we have to run some games. Maybe we do some
yeah, it'd be
content off
great.
of it, right?
Yeah, it could be good. I have to do that. I gotta figure out this whole Twitch thing after YouTube.
It's pretty similar, I think, when it comes to live streaming side. But yeah,
Okay, great.
whenever you want to run some games, I really love playing FIFA Online. I don't play Ultimate Team because I don't have enough money for that, but I
Okay, I don't do that either. I don't do that either.
perfect. Then we're perfectly matched for each other. What division do you play on seasons? Do you play like seasons as a team
I,
online or
I no, I've been just playing like in person. I don't play much online. Like I play with my
right?
brother-in-law
Okay,
and the friends and stuff like that. Yeah, so I don't
right.
play much
Okay,
online. I just
nice.
we pick the teams. It's always the same teams. We're always picking the same teams. You know what I mean? And I mean I love PSG, so I'm always picking PSG.
Right,
My brother-in-law is always picking Arsenal. Yeah.
right. Okay, not bad, not bad. Um, do you have a favorite music artist of all time?
Music artist? No, not really. I'm not super into music, but if I had to pick one, uh, I guess I don't know. I'm gonna say Drake, but that sounds very weird to say. But yeah, I guess Drake.
Well, so you say you're not a big music guy. Are you more of a podcast person, or does it just not? You just don't
Yeah, I
listen to
love
anything else?
podcasts. Like,
Right.
yeah, I love
Okay.
podcasts. Like, obviously, Joe Rogan is a great podcast, but recently,
Yeah.
my favorite podcast right now, it's got to be the Patrick Bet David, the Valuetainment.
Right.
I don't know
Is
if you know
that
that
like
one, but
what kind of
that's my
podcast is
favorite
it now?
podcast.
I love
It's like
podcasts. I
a
haven't heard of it. So
Oh, it's amazing. The guy, he does like a lot of politics and also like they talks about
right.
the economy and businesses and how things are going, what's going on. And he always brings on the really good guests. And he's like, it's kind of weird to say, but he's kind of, I feel like he's one of us in terms of like a fighters or whatever. He doesn't fight or
Right.
anything, but like when he started out, when he was younger, he was in the military. Then he tried to become a bodybuilder. Then he became like this super really successful businessman. So he's got like this great like bro approach like we have at the gym, and like I
Yeah.
feel like he
Awesome.
has that community approach too. Like he really cares about his team, and like the better he does, the better his team does, and he brings up his own guys. So it's like I see like my brother in him a lot. Like my brother for us, I see him like Patrick Ben
Yeah.
David a lot. So it's like I can understand the guy.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite fighter, boxer, or like any combat sports athlete of all time?
Well, obviously George St. Pierre is the best, the greatest of all time, and also I love Mayweather. I like guys who put defense first, like Mayweather, Rigondeaux. I like guys like that. I really enjoy Dustin Poirier, man. I watched his fight on Saturday. I couldn't believe it. He's incredible.
I was
Right
about
now,
to know.
I'll say
Did you see
Topuria
his
is
new
at the
t-shirts that he just released?
yeah, amazing. Even my wife when we're doing the live podcast, she's like, "Stop going
Oh,
for the
for real?
guillotine." Oh, those are
Yeah.
lights. Even my wife knew he should stop going for that guillotine, man. Crazy.
Yeah, don't be silly, jump the gilly. I love that. I love how
Yeah,
his
he's
corner
amazing.
literally was like, stop jumping the guillotine.
Yeah.
30 seconds later, he goes for it right, right away.
He
It's just like,
believes in it,
oh
man.
no,
He believes
Dustin.
in it.
I think Cormier was like, this is one of his best submissions. And then John Alec just goes, he'd actually never finished a fight with it.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
I think he's transitioned off of it before for submission finishes, but he's never actually finished a fight with the guillotine. So
That's crazy that he believes in it so much then.
yeah, no, 100%. Do you have a favorite fight of all time?
Favorite fight of all time? That's a good question, man. Uh, I mean, in terms of feelings, my favorite fight of all time was when George beat Matt Serra after losing to him because it meant a lot to the team. And it was heartbreaking when he lost. You know, it was really, really terrible. And I was there live in
Oh
Montreal
man.
when he did it, and it was incredible. Like when he was kneeing him near the end, the crowd got so loud that you couldn't hear anything. Like it was
Mhm.
so much noise that everything went out. Then I got to see him backstage. We wanted to celebrate. So for me, like in terms of memories and feelings, that's the greatest fight of all time.
I love it. I think it's always good to attach a memory to a fight.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any funny interactions with another fan or another fighter?
Um, yeah, I'm sure I've had it a lot. I mean, let me think of a good one. Uh, um,
I think probably the most common one on Twitter, people say you're violent Ariel Helwani, right? That's what
oh yeah,
people
oh my
say.
God, with Helwani, that's the best, man. I love that one. I think it's hilarious. Like Clark Kent and Superman. That one's
Yeah,
incredible.
exactly.
Yeah, it's probably that one's helped my social media career. That one's had a
100%.
big impact for me, man. Definitely, definitely. That's like the most impactful one too.
That's so funny, man. I think that's a good answer to that. I think it's an elite meme that comes out every time you fight, you
Every
know?
time. And you know, it actually made me and Ariel closer. Like we didn't talk much before, but that meme like really like cemented our friendship, man. It's really cool. And he's helped me a lot with that.
I love it, man. Ariel's a great guy. So,
Yeah, yeah.
do you have a dream, just to close out, do you have a dream vacation spot?
Yes, yes. I would love to go Italy, like south of Italy. I would love
Right.
to go there, man. I think it's beautiful. I think the food's gonna be amazing. This is just me reading reviews, but that's my dream vacation right
It is.
now.
No, I've been to
I
Italy before. It's
oh
very
yeah.
beautiful. So yeah, it's not too necessarily far from me because I live in Germany, so it's a bit
Okay,
of a
okay.
drive, but then when you get there, it's worth it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. How's the food? Everyone tells me it's great. You know, that's
Yeah,
why I can't wait
it's
to
good.
go.
It's good. I've been to Milan. I did an event
Yeah.
out there. I've been to a place that's really beautiful is Lake Como. It's near Milan.
Yes, that's where I want to go.
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
so beautiful. You have to go. That's what I'm gonna say. You
Yeah.
have to go.
That's
It's
amazing.
it's
Good.
so beautiful, and you'll have a great time. So it's beautiful. I
Awesome.
think
I'm looking forward to it.
to close out, if there's anything you want to shout out, any sponsors, your social media, anything, where can the
Just
people find you, man?
guys, find me on YouTube, man. Aiemann Zahabi on YouTube. Look me up. I'm trying to grow my channel. If you can, subscribe, like some videos, and I'm gonna be posting content for you guys.
Thank you so much for the time, Amy.
Thank you, bro. Have a great day.
Great day, man.